Alright everyone, welcome back to our fourth video in the Introduction to Flask tutorial video series. This is going to be about the control flow of templates for loops and while loops. Something very fantastic and interesting, I assure you. So the next thing we're going to do is create a little fake array inside of our index page here. We're doing this to kind of simulate stuff to loop through that we can then loop through in our template. We don't currently have a database, so getting data is kind of hard, so we're going to fake it. So we're going to make a little array called posts, something pretty simple, and inside of these it's just going to be a couple little dictionaries. So let's start this way, actually make it look nice. So we want to make an author. We want an author and some sort of value of name here. So then we're going to say name and let's do John Green, right? Alright, so now we have our little dictionary here, and let's also add a little body to the post as well, because hey, you know, it's cool like that. So we're going to say body, and we'll just give some little value here like Paper Towns is amazing. Something nice like that. Now the next thing we're going to do is make another one very similar. Why, you say? Well, so that we can loop through stuff. So then we're going to name this one, and we'll name this one Hank Green here. They're probably brothers or something. So then we just want to put another body here. Check out SciShow. Okay, so now we have some nice little dictionaries here for some fake data that we're going to use. The next thing we need to do is actually pass it to our template. So remember, these are the variables that we're passing with keyword arguments, so their names are going to be used as their variables in the template as we pass them here. So we'll name them something simple, just posts, and that's going to equal the posts list that we made. Once you have that all settled in, we're going to go back into our index here and start our first little loop. So our loops are going to follow a very similar syntax to the if and else up here. We're going to go just below our little header here, and we want to do a curly brace and some percent signs, and then we're going to just write our for loop just as we would in Python. So we're going to say for post in posts. Now to end our for loop, we're not going to actually do the work in there just yet. We want to do the same thing as we did with the end if, but this is going to be end for. Alright, now inside of here we're going to make a little div tag with a little bit of a paragraph in there, and here we're going to say post.author, if we can spell right, dot nickname, and put some spaces around there for looks, and then we're going to say says, and then in bold we'll put the post body. Now the body of this is going to be just like any other variable along with the nickname. We're just going to say post.body. Now this will iterate through all of our posts that we have in our little fake array and display them for our users. So let's go over here, and there we go. However, we have had some sort of awful mistake that I made. Let's see what it was. Probably, oh, I put name instead of nickname. My bad. Well, hey, that's a learning lesson. Let's look here. Did it give us any errors? No. Okay. Well, interesting. It didn't freak out in Flask, but we messed up. Okay, so then when we put it in there properly, it'll say John Green says Paper Towns is amazing, and Hank Green says to check out SciShow. Great little sample there of how to use a for loop. Now, what about while loops? While loops are going to be exactly the same, but instead of end for, you have end while. And instead of a for up here, you would put a while for a while loop. For loops are going to be much more practical, and that's what we're going to kind of stick with for this situation here. Now there is one more thing that we have to talk about: templates. Templates are a very, very powerful piece of our programs when we're doing development in Flask, so it's really good to know as much as you can about them. And one of the most powerful things that is very important to understand is template inheritance. So template inheritance works the same way as inheritance does in object-oriented programming, and it's very, very, very convenient when you're trying to make everything look nice. So let's say you make one HTML template that is just simply your navigation bar, and you want that on every page. You can use template inheritance to actually just put that into your page on every page very easily. So we're going to make our own little base template that will be inherited in other pages. So we're going to make a quick new little HTML page in the templates directory, and we're going to name this one base.html. What we're going to do now is actually just copy or cut and paste that into our base HTML page here. And then what we want to do is go back into our index page here, and we're going to inherit from base.html. It'll be really, really cool. Watch this awesomeness. So what we need to do is say, just like we do when we're doing a for loop or something similar, we're going to do a curly brace with some percent signs, and in here we're going to say extends and then the name of our template, in this case base.html. This will extend from it and take all the same information and just plop it into this page. Now we want to kind of show a bigger use than just doing that, because at this point there's nothing more valuable that we're getting out of this than if we just rendered the base template instead, right? So what we want to do is add a little bit of content, a little content section for ourselves here. So what we're going to do is actually take out this body here. We're going to cut that because we're going to paste that somewhere else in just a second. And we're going to make a little div here that says YouTube blog, and then we're going to make a little link here for ourselves that goes to the home page. All right. Oops. Okay. Then under that, let's just make a nice little horizontal line. And now we're going to get to the real core power of inheritance and templates. We're going to make a block tag. So this is going to be just like a for loop tag. We're going to do a curly brace %sign block content and then %sign. What this does is it says we're defining a block of code, and we're going to name it content. Blocks are something we can overwrite when we extend our templates. So then we're going to go here and we're going to just say end block. All right. So now with that, we are good to go. If we go into index.html now and we say block content, and let's say we end it again here, so end block, we can paste that stuff that we cut out earlier right in there. And now if we refresh our little page here, we have our little oops, let me fix the HTML. We got some stray characters right here. Alright, so now if we refresh, it'll look decent. We have our title and our link to our homepage, our username, little greeting, and then our posts shown here. And this is all done in the index page because we have no route going to the base HTML page. All this is done through index.html, and it inherits all the specialties like this chunk of code here, and just overwrites the content block here to be rendered. So that's really all we have for templates for now. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please press the like button. If you would like to see future videos, press the subscribe button. If you have any critique or questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you next time.